like next Monday, we might be at all-time highs, potentially. We're going to get to that point.
They're raising $4 billion. And what will that $4 billion be used for? It will be used, to purchase SOL.
He can say one statement in 1 minute that will shake the entire global economy.
You're not getting yield on your Bitcoin on Solana. What the fuck are you doing?
Welcome to Sol Brothers, the finest podcast on Solana with my dear friend Eno and myself, Simon, where it is our job to throw you into the Solana rabbit hole and show you around in our exciting ecosystem.
Our mission is to keep you on top of the latest and greatest so that you never run out of fun things to talk about. Simon, it's a Thursday. What's going on?
It is a Thursday. We're going to live stream twice a week going forward. So you guys going to see a little bit more of us. That also means more content on YouTube because we need to keep you guys updated. Crypto is moving too fast for one EP per week. So we're gonna incrementally scale our output. And I think for now, it's going to be twice per week. So you can catch us on live stream every single Monday and every single Thursday on Twitter. And you will also see these episodes on YouTube in a neat, polished version every single week around Tuesdays and Fridays.
Yeah, I'm really excited to ship more content, and this decision to stream every Monday and Thursday, Simon took the words right out of my mouth. He's exactly correct. This industry moves way too fast, and it just doesn't make sense to cover stuff that happened a week ago, because a week ago is literally ancient history compared to where we are today. So, I mean, even between the podcast recording on Monday and now, I mean, Jesus Christ, Simon.
Especially now. I mean, imagine us talking about rate cuts next Monday. I don't even know. Like next Monday, we might be at all-time highs. Potentially. We're going to get to that point in a moment. But things are moving. And last night in Asia and yesterday in USA, the FOMC was held in the US. So Jerome Powell was speaking to the public. And I do respect the man for the amount of pressure that is on his shoulders, because his words, he can say one statement in 1 minute that will shake the entire global economy. Isn't that crazy? Like, everyone is just waiting for him to open his mouth. And I saw a few tweets on Twitter that were too funny, whereas like, men don't fear anything. The only fear that men have. And then there's a video of Jerome Powell going to the stage and be like, "Good afternoon." And then that's it's like that moment, he starts talking and everyone is just staring at the chart. So I was actually awake last night until like 2 a.m. to just follow what happened over there. And yeah, we're going to touch on this a little bit, today. We're going to look at the charts. We're going to look at the way forward, and we're going to talk a little bit as well about some recent news on Solana. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's go for it.
Did you follow the meeting? Do you have, is this the first time you hear about what happened yesterday on the FOMC, or do you know what happened?
So I'm aware that there was a rate cut, but is there something else that you're alluding to that I should know?
Oh yeah, there's a few details. So first of all, what was the market expecting, right? The market was expecting a 25 basis point rate cut for the interest rate, and that is exactly what happened. So usually the market anticipates something, and then they sell the news when the anticipation, kind of comes true. Didn't really happen too strong last night. The market dipped a little bit, but there was no deep red candle. But there was a dip when he said, only one rate cut, because people were, they still had the hope for maybe it's going to be 50 basis points. There was this hope.
Yeah.
Because the labor market is quite weak. The inflation is going up, but I think labor seems to be more important right now for the US economy. And people are urging the SEC to cut more, right? The Fed, sorry. People are urging the Fed to cut more rates. And that's what I mean. There's a lot of pressure because there's two main goals, right, that you have doing monetary policy as the Federal Reserve, which is A, stable labor market, and B, stable inflation rates, right? So there's a 2% inflation goal. Right now we're inching towards 3%. And there's certain labor targets that they have, and they're also below. So right now, basically, both goals are not met. And whatever you do when it comes to fiscal or monetary policy, it will bring one or the other out of equilibrium. That's the problem, right? That is the big issue the Fed always is facing. If they cut interest rates too much, inflation is going to hike up higher, right? Which is not good. If they don't cut interest rates, labor market is going to suffer more, and GDP is going to suffer, economy is going to suffer, but inflation stays stable. So you kind of, so what happened really is that 25 basis points was the initial cut, but then he also said that by end of year, we should inch towards 3.6% inflation rate. Now we're at 4 to 4.25. So there's going to be most likely at least 2 more rate cuts coming in this year, and I expect them to be around November and December, and they will be similar events like yesterday. Market's going to anticipate it. There might be some, buy the rumor situation leading up to these further rate cuts, and he also indicated more rate cuts in 2026 and even 2027.
Whoa!
So quite rich outlook for risk assets, but you always have to keep in mind this is not really inherently good, because you cut rates when the economy is weak, and that hints toward recession. So it is always a bit, it is dangerous territory. That's all I want to say. And that's why there was not a huge pump, but markets are definitely moving.
Yeah. Well, sure. We're definitely seeing a weaker economy. I'm not so sure how much Trump's, trade war has to do with it, but I would suspect that it has at least just a little bit to do with
100%. Oh, it has a lot to do with it, my friend. Tariffs and immigration, those 2 points are beating down the economy to an extent, right? Yeah, tariffs and tariffs are driving inflation up, immigration are driving labor market down. That's and Trump knows that, and Trump is just saying, Powell, cut the fucking rates. I do my thing here. I know it's not good but it's what we need right now.
Yeah,
cut the fucking rates to kind of bring it back to a state where the economy is okay. It doesn't look too good in the long term, but it does look good in the midterm or in the short term right now.
Yeah. I mean, it seems to be very good for our bags. And speaking of our bags, Simon, you want to talk a little bit about what's going on in the market right now?
Yes, sir. Can you bring up my screen so we can take a look at the charts?
Absolutely.
Here? We're looking.
Yes.
We're looking at the 1 hour Solana chart at this very moment, and we are currently at $247, which is not a bad number. It's not a bad number to have. Yesterday we were all the way down to $232. So basically, what happened between rate cut and today is a decent move to the upside. It is how much percentage we have a 7% gain, which is historically usually what happens after rate cuts, actually. So that was to be expected. I anticipated exactly that, and our Elliott wave theory is also pretty much in line with what happens in the real world. As per usual, we saw this 1-2 setup here back in the beginning of September. Then we saw the big impulse all the way from $200 to $250. Exactly $50 upside. There was a third wave and an impulse that really was overshooting my expectations. So that was a good one. But then we also saw a decline right in basically the days before the FOMC. That was traders are taking chips off the table. They don't know what to expect. And that was the fourth wave correction. And then there was just a bit of up and down sideways movement because people are just not doing a lot before the meeting. They're waiting for confirmation to then, reposition themselves. So there's a few traders that I know that really close all their positions before the meeting. And then there's a few others that are they have enough margin, enough leverage, low leverage that they don't get wiped out with violent moves. The moves were not too violent. There's a bit of, wicks down here in the hourly candles from yesterday. But right now, what I'm tracking here is basically the fifth wave extension into the larger third wave upside. And that can bring us up to $280, $290, and honestly, that next push. So that is quite realistically, and I do think that the markets might rally after the meeting last night because it was not bearish. It was not inherently bad for markets. It was not, it didn't pump the markets because there was nothing we didn't expect really to happen. But honestly, the meeting doesn't matter. We're just, as you can see in the charts right now, as you can see in the Elliott waves, we're just doing what I was expecting is going to happen anyway, which is small retrace here and then back to the upside. So I still think that Q4 has a lot of potential this year, and I still think that prices are going to keep moving up right now, at least breaking the 250 maybe in the next week. That's what I would anticipate at this moment. Obviously, all this is no financial advice. So if you want to trade these things, then make your own decisions. Don't listen to me. I'm really silly when it comes to trading. I'm just yapping what I think is going to happen, but I do not have that little magic ball that I would love to have. But yeah, I think that's currently what's going on. And I think altcoins have potential. what's your gut feeling? Do you think Q4 could be a good time for us?
Well, I'm gonna stake my my reputation here. Yes, absolutely. I think Q4 is altcoin season. Not financial advice. The reason why I believe this is because the market is very cyclical in where they like to rotate capital, right? And what we've seen historically has always been Bitcoin followed by Ethereum, followed by Solana, followed by altcoins, right? So I think, and honestly, there's so much like just going back to the DAT conversation that we were having on Monday. So digital asset treasuries, a lot of them are looking to deploy their capital into DeFi, and they're going to have to, especially if they want to outcome, because they want to outcompete it against not only each other but also ETFs, right? And the only way to do that is to be very aggressive with your SOL holdings, and so that means that they're going to have to deploy. Even Kyle Samani, who's the head of Forward Industries, hinted at this in a tweet that they're going to actually not even hinted. He explicitly said that is the game plan. They are going to be deploying capital into DeFi. Why does that matter? Well, if you start deploying capital into DeFi, the TVL of Solana DeFi is going to explode. And a lot of these DeFi protocols have buyback schemes for their tokens, and so I think that you'll see a lot of revenue go into altcoins in Q4.
Yeah. Fair point. I do think Bitcoin has still chance to at least go sideways in Bitcoin dominance, meaning I think we might not be done yet with the full kind of Bitcoin dominance consolidation right now. There's further downside that I expect. If Bitcoin dominance goes down, altcoins pump, right? That's the logical kind of result of this. But right now, we're literally here in this volume spike where we have a lot of activity. That's where we're hovering in BTC dominance right now, around 57, 58%. And I don't know if we're going to go straight down here or if we're going to keep consolidating or even a little bit up. The thing with Bitcoin is, if we look at the weekly chart of Bitcoin and we take a good look at that, we can actually see that there is this. Let's use the daily for this one. There's the 350 moving average. That's yellow line on my chart here, and Bitcoin has been touching that line like quite a few times already. So we saw at least 1, 2, 3, 4 touch points with it, and right now we are, there's a good distance to that average here, and there's two scenarios, right? That might happen. Either we are done with the little correction here to $107,000, and we're going up from here, and we increase the distance, which could be the final push, right? Or we're going to bump one more time. My gut feeling is telling me we don't touch it one more time. We touched enough, and we're going up from here. And that would basically, Bitcoin is going to lead, altcoins are going to follow. And one last thing that gives me more certainty for that theory is that there's another marker we can look at, which is the crypto total market cap, excluding the top 10. So basically, that is altcoins, right? Excluding the big boys, including Bitcoin. They are not in this market cap here, and we see it's a good setup here right now to the upside. We broke like a few resistances to the upside here. We retested a level that I was watching and didn't broke down from it. So I think this could actually go up here, and if we see such a move like here, back in 2024, this is a proper alt season. Okay. Like if we see such a move to the upside, that is pretty big. So potentially something we want to look at in future, and we're going to track that even further. But I think that's enough of price talk and charts for now. I hope it helps a little bit to bring a little bit of certainty in all this chaos right now. But why don't we talk a little bit more about what's happening on Solana?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'd love to transition also to talk about, not transition, but I'd love to just give a shout out to a couple of people that we have in the audience. Our very good friend, Happy Pirate, Der Zelle Brothers. I can't, you could probably read that, right? It's Dutch, ain't it?
He's trying to talk German all the time. I do not know what he wants to say with Zelle, Der Zelle Brothers. I don't know, Steve. You gotta be a bit more accurate here. But this one is very accurate. Ganz geil. that's a good one.
What is that?
So yeah, shout out to Happy Bear. It just means like geil is what we say if something is really nice. Like really it's great. But it's the next level of great. Geil is like super geil. It means like extra magnificent. So yeah, whatever.
And then we also have Frag Chad. Always good to see you. Only up for alt season, motherfuckers. And also, I loved this comment. Let's fucking go trickle down economics. And of course, we have Cyber Bruda. What's up, man? Soon. And Abhinav, we love you, man. GM, you're the legend, my friend. Okay, so going into some Solana. Go ahead, Simon.
I just understood what Happy Pirate was saying. He's basically
what was
because Soul Brothers, right? Like soul, like my soul, and he tried to do that in German. The museum
I see.
would have been the correct spelling, but yeah, whatever. What's next, Ian?
Yeah. So just talking about some major developments on Solana, because remember, guys, the reason why our tokens are worth anything is because Solana is a network that's being used, right? Like without consumer usage, without institutional usage, you can't expect the token to go up. I mean, like it might go up out of, let's say, speculation, but truly the fundamentals of the chain are what matter most. And so this is breaking news. The CME Group, which is the world's leading derivative marketplace, announced that they're going to launch options for Solana. That's amazing, right? So typically, if you want to long your SOL, obviously you're using a DEX or perhaps even a centralized exchange to do your perps trading. Now, regular traders, the Chicago merchant, in Chicago, are going to be able to long SOL in the tradition. I don't really know how that works, though, Simon. Like, how do you do futures on? No, that would make sense, right? But anyways, yeah. So anyways, we're gonna have
option contracts, traditional option contracts just on Solana on the CME, right? Which is pretty big. Like there's a big market for options. We're not really covering this a lot. I do think we can make some educational content about options. I have been talking a lot with our friend BM, who is pretty deep into options, and he knows pretty good how they work. I do not, because I never really touched them yet. But obviously there's put options, call options, where you can, instead of long and short the market, you can lock in the price of SOL at a certain moment and then wait what happens after and then sell these options again for the price you locked in.
So essentially what you're doing is what confuses me about this is like a typical option is a bundle of 100 stocks, right? So if you're buying a Tesla call, right, you're calling it at a certain price. That's why it's called a call, right? You're calling it at a certain price. And you can buy them in different tranches, right? So different price points. It just kind of depends on whatever the market makers are offering. And you buy at a certain price, and you're buying a bundle of 100. So I suppose, but it kind of fucks with my head a little bit to think that in order to buy a Solana option, that you would buy 100 SOL at each time. That doesn't make sense to me.
No, I don't think that's how it works. We'll figure it out, and we'll try to do an episode maybe where we can deep dive a little bit in the mechanics of options. There's actually already great products on chain for option tradings, less on Solana, more on Ethereum by now. But there's some DeFi option trading that's out there that I'm also really find interesting. But this specific news right now that we pulled up, the CME announcement, I think it's just bullish to see that these institutional players deciding to open markets for futures and options for Solana, because it means there's deep enough liquidity for this asset right now and enough demand to offer that product to traders. And that is good news, guys.
Yeah. And that's not all, folks. Not only do we have amazingly bullish news on Solana options, but also it looks like we're going to get another infusion of capital, Simon, because Ford Industries has announced a $4 billion at the market equity program. So they're raising $4 billion. And what will that $4 billion be used for? It will be used to purchase SOL. Like that shouldn't be surprising anybody, since Ford Industries is the number one DAT on Solana today. I think they have something to the tune of 6 million or 8 million SOL. I forget how much they have, which is almost like a third of a percent of the supply of Solana. Fucking insane.
Bro, it's crazy. Look at this quote right here below the paragraph that you cited. Kyle Samani is saying, through this offering, Ford Industry gains a flexible and efficient mechanism to raise and methodically deploy capital in support of our Solana treasury strategy. That basically means, in plain terms, we raise a fuckload of money and buy SOL. That's what he's saying, right? What else do we want here? Those are good news. These guys are betting big on Solana at current prices. I think I don't even know. It's very big.
Yeah. I don't really know what to make of this aside from just being deliriously happy. I wonder if we'll ever, Simon, do you think we'll ever get to a point where the DATs have almost bought too much SOL and it starts to become like a existential risk for all of us?
What needs to happen for this to be an existential risk? You mean because they can dump, they can sell? What gets bought I think can be sold?
Yeah, it's two things, right? Dumping their bags, right? In the same way that we used to feel really icky about FTX holding so much SOL, right? Like, what if we get to a point where the DATs? I mean, I guess I would be fine if the DAT market share was more evenly distributed, but I would be concerned if like a single DAT held like, I don't know, like 3% of the supply. That would make me a little nervous.
Sure. But I think for that to happen, I think we're too far ahead already. The market cap is too high already of Solana. For buy, like these people are deploying huge numbers already, and they can't buy up so much token supply at this moment. And the good thing is, like, it's only bad if you're too late, right? It depends when it depends when you invest in the asset, because these guys won't sell before they're big in profit, right?
Yeah.
That means, and sure, they're going to sell at some point, right? We're all planning to rotate in and out here and there to take some profits. That's how markets work, right? Everything that goes up comes down. But as long as we're printing higher lows in the long run, that is all right. Is there going to be another bear market and some numbers that might feel dangerously low? Probably. That's why you should stay up to date and fucking decide when to take a bit of profit, right? And take some chips off the table at some point. But I don't think the time for that is right now.
If what goes up must come down, then I guess Bitcoin missed the memo.
Bitcoin on Solana did. Definitely.
Yeah, fair enough. The next piece of news that we have is Helius. This is so funny to me for reasons that we'll talk about in just a second. But Helius, in partnership with Pantera Capital and the Summer Capital, announces launch of the Solana Treasury Company. Now, Simon, is this Mert's DAT?
Please, no, stop spreading this misconception. Twitter has been doing this the whole kind of like a couple days. They're like, oh, Mert's company got some additional SOL. Like, it makes no sense. Helios is a medical equipment company. That's the company behind Helios Capital, and they basically have like a side arm of their it's not their mother company, which they spun up right now in a PEPE. And this one is only there to acquire SOL, which is really interesting because the mother company, like the business, is actually just medical equipment. This is a purely financial play for them to pump their bags, I guess, by acquiring Solana, a crypto asset, not Bitcoin, Solana, in a treasury company. So yeah, some hands have been shaken, and someone really rallied for Solana and convinced these guys, which is great.
Do you know what a PEPE is? I have no idea what a PEPE is.
I couldn't explain it in layman's terms right now. It's a private investment in public equity, basically. So it's a special vehicle that enables you to invest in a private setting, like a PE investment, into a company that's actually publicly listed. I don't want to say anything wrong, but the actual company, Helios Medical Technologies, or whatever the name exactly is, it's a publicly listed company. They spun up some side arm of that thing that enabled private investors to come in and buy some shares, right? So yeah, I think if you want to know what a PEPE exactly is, then just ask Rob.
Yeah,
not me.
I'll do some chat GPTing after this, and exactly. I am also salivating just like Happy Pirate over this next piece of news. And yes, of course, congratulations, Mert. Frag, actually, PEPE is a big stock bag sold to private equity at a discount. Not financial advice.
Some sort of secondary private sale of a public. Thanks, Frag.
Yes. But yeah, just to salivate over this next piece of news, just like Happy Pirate, we have, of course, the BTC supply on Solana, which has crossed over $1 billion for the first time ever. I don't think we talk enough about Bitcoin on Solana, but it makes first of all, if you're not holding Bitcoin, shame on you, because even if you don't hold Bitcoin, the raw asset itself, like there are plenty of different products on Solana now to get your Bitcoin exposure, including WBTC, ZBTC. I'm sure that there's a BTC for every letter of the alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. There's so many different BTC options. And, Solana has one of the most robust DeFi ecosystems. And so it makes a shoot ton of sense to have Bitcoin on Solana as a DeFi primitive. So yeah, this is really amazing to see.
Fully agree. It is good to see that Solana has a place, in the crypto industry, not only because it has its own assets, SOL, and not only because we have shitload of other financial products on Solana, but also because we enable Bitcoin holders to get more from their Bitcoin. That's really cool, man. Like it's because Bitcoin is not going anywhere. Like it's going to stay forever. And these guys are holding onto their bags for a long time because they expect Bitcoin to go up even more. What if you tell them that they can get extra APY on top of their holdings? That's so cool. Think about the products that Zeus and Apollo putting out, for example, as to mention some names on Solana that are active in this industry. You're holding your Bitcoin asset, you get the price appreciation from your Bitcoins, and still you're also making money on one of the biggest staking, the biggest and safest staking opportunities in crypto, which is Solana staking APY, right? So and you can get that as well. So really, really, really interesting concept.
Yeah, I mean, look at all these teams. We got Coinbase, we got BitGo, we got OKX, we got Lombard, Zeus, Fragmetric, of course, homespun team from Korea. Yes. Zenrock, Threshold, 21 shares. You name it. Rootstock. We got BTC up the fucking roof. And obviously, it makes a lot of sense to get yield on your Bitcoin. If you're not getting yield on your Bitcoin on Solana, what the fuck are you doing? There's a lot of fun things that are happening in the market, not just in terms of BTC, but also our friends over at SolFlare, have distributed 12 million, let me try that again. 12 million SNS has been distributed equally to all SolFlare users who joined the LFG campaign. So if you are a SolFlare user and you were participating in the LFG campaign, guess what? You just got an extra boost of SNS, and I can tell you that token is doing very, very well. Congratulations to the SNS team. We love little tiny bonuses, like not tiny actually. This is 12 million of the supply, but we love bonuses like this, little freebies.
That's amazing, and also the collaboration makes me smile, SNS and SolFlare, because you see both logos in the right corner when we live stream because we're friends of both of those teams. This is what it's about, like working hand in hand together, rewarding each other, exchanging users and communities with each other. I love to see it, and obviously SNS is performing quite well these days. I've seen they've been trending in Phantom Wallet just today as well, the token SNS. Good job, team. And let's keep moving forward. Let's keep moving upward as well with these things. Love to see it.
It's actually it's super interesting. I mean, this was not strategically planned, by the way. It's not like we've been friends with the SolFlare team for a very long time. We've been friends with the SNS team for a very long time. Just a match made in heaven. So we got a twofer for this one, Simon. Two for the price of one.
Yep. Exactly.
In more SNS news, really, really bullish results for this month. Over 2.7 thousand new .sol domains registered. Top domain sales are nyc.sol, 43sol, as well as moonmanifest.sol. The secondary market for... I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't think that people would be so interested in buying secondary .sol domains, but the market just continues to surprise me over and over and over again. Yep. I mean, that's a $20,000 sale. That's crazy.
Bro, never underestimate what people spend on things. you will always find at least one crazy person that buys something expensive where you're really? And domains in Web 2, they're fucking expensive. So I think it checks out. We're still early.
Yeah. And one more piece of SNS news, they have donated 300 years of clean water to TeamWater. Are you familiar with the TeamWater initiative?
I am not.
Yeah. So Mr. Beast does a lot of charity initiatives, and one of the old initiatives that he ran, I think back in 2020, was something called Team Trees. And it was one of the most successful public fundraisers for charity ever, right? He got basically all the creators around the world to tweet at the same time that they're Team Trees. He's running the same playbook again for TeamWater. So they're providing water to Africa, if I'm not mistaken. And SNS has given a contribution of 300 years of water over to the TeamWater campaign. You can see the original campaign here, which is turn your .sol into clean water from August 8th to August 31st. Every water.a.sol subdomain you register sends 100% of the proceeds to TeamWater, bringing clean water to those who need it most. That is really, really cool.
Love to see it. Love to see it.
Yeah, I love to see. I mean, like, I just think that doing good, feeling good, that's all a part of life. It's if you're making all your bags just for yourself, I mean, like, what's the fucking point?
Yep.
And the next piece of news, I want you to talk about this, Simon. TradeWars Season 2 is back for Flash Trade. What the fuck is this?
In Flash Trade TradeWars, you will enter the arena with one other trader. First, he's going to trade, then you're going to trade, and you get a funded wallet from Flash Trade. They're basically giving out $100 for you that you can use to leverage trade and see what happens. The only requirement is you have 15 minutes time and you have to use at least 100x leverage, up to 500x leverage for this challenge. And whatever you make in these 15 minutes belongs to you. Whatever you lose, well, it's gone. That is Flash Trade TradeWars. And I was part of that just this week on Tuesday. And I didn't get wrecked. I didn't make a lot of money. I actually didn't make any money, but I also didn't lose money. And with that, I was, I think, the best participant so far. Because normally what happens is, if you leverage trade in 15 minutes with 500x, usually what happens is you lose everything because you're getting wiped out like this. So you have to be super careful and very defensive, close positions as early as possible, lock in profits. I had a good start at the beginning. I was like in $130 profit or something, but then there was like one bad trade that brought me back to break even, and then time was over. But it's fun. It's really fun. It is a good way to try out Flash Trade as well. And you can participate in TradeWars if you just join the Discord and ask for it, honestly. And they might pick you
up. So wait, did you win against Nargar?
Kind of. I mean, I had a better P&L than him, but I didn't win any money because I was just break even.
I see. In your face, Nargar. No, I'm kidding.
He did a good job as well. He did a good job.
Yeah. I haven't met him, but I'm sure he's a really nice guy. And the last piece of news that we have for today, and this is a big one. You're going to want to strap in for this one because, honestly, really, really hot news, just came out yesterday. All Jupe stakers are going to get a MET token allocation. There's also been an announcement on the MET Discord that describes how exactly this is going to work. You don't get the airdrop directly into your wallet. What happens actually is it's directly claimable within the Meteor website. It has to be a DLMM position. And the reason for the strategic choice is, Jupiter has a huge fucking audience, right? So they're going to bring in the entire Jupe staking ecosystem into the Meteor product, and they're forced to use the product in order to get their tokens. They have to open a position. So that is really, really cool. I'm really glad for the Meteor team. I'm really glad for Jupe stakers. This is a massive win for anybody who's a part of those ecosystems.
So if you have your Jupe staked and you didn't unstake in the past couple of days or weeks, then you're lucky because you might get some MET tokens for that. Just watch out for the announcement because right now I think there's nothing to do yet. There's just the announcement that went out, but there will be more use. If you just follow the Meteora Twitter, you should be fine. And if you listen to what the Sol brothers are saying, you should also be fine because we're going to keep an eye out as well for more news.
Yeah. I think that's probably the biggest piece of news for me personally, over the last week, just because we're so heavy into the Jupiter Meteor ecosystems. If you're a hardcore Jupiter user, the likelihood that you also have used Meteor is very, very high. And so you're essentially getting a double dip, which is super nice.
Yep. You can pull up my screen if you want, to just show the mechanics a little bit more closely. Meteor posted a thread where they announced some new mechanic that they worked on, which is basically an NFT that you're getting in your wallet if you are opening positions on Meteora that can be used for airdrops, also for other projects that do that. Right now for Jupiter, it works the following. You basically, Jupe stakers will be included in the MET TGE through the NFT distributor. So Jupe stakers will receive a position NFT, instantly becoming an active LP army member, which is really cool, earning fees and learning how to LP from day one. And the NFT distributor is designed to align Drip Staker with the mission, turning them from passive holders into active LP army participants. So the whole idea is here really to as Eno said, merge both projects as well and make sure that some of the Jupiter users head over to Meteora and not only farm the airdrop, but also use the product. So I think really good initiative, and you can tell that there's people thinking deeply about things like this at back over at Jupiter and Meteora.
That is about it for today. This has been your Thursday stream of Soul Brothers. Simon, it actually the show feels a little different covering news that's just happened. I like it. It's a good feeling. I feel a lot more. I mean, I'm always engaged with the show, but I feel even more engaged because everything feels super topical.
Tuned in, yeah. Yes. I think it's a good move. Let us know, guys, what you think about doing these twice per week. We keep them a little bit shorter than usual. Like we aim for like around half an hour streaming and recording. And we're going to give you the latest and greatest from this specific week on Solana, what happened in the last day. So we'll be back again for you guys on Monday with another stream and recording. Until then, make sure that you follow Soul Brothers on X, on YouTube, on Instagram, everywhere you can find us, basically. And let us know if you have any requests for things to cover in the comments as well, wherever you find content from us. So we'll see you at the next one. Thanks for tuning in. Yes?
There's another stream today.
All right.
Ooh.
Oh, hell yeah.
Ooh.
Okay, well, just be ready. You guys have no idea what's going to happen, but be ready. We have a very exciting interview guest. We're not going to tell you who it is, but it's a relevant person of the Solana ecosystem. Let's put it that way. And it's going to be just in a couple hours. So yeah, stay locked in. Be on Twitter and watch out for Soul Brothers going live again.
All right. See you, everyone. Adios.